When actress Lily Tomlin's childhood friend died suddenly, she said, "Death doesn't make any sense to me." Maybe you feel that way. So why do people die in the first place? Is there a way to make sense of this painful reality known as death? While there are many philosophies offered, the Bible does provide an answer I think we should consider. First, death is not the way it's supposed to be because death was never part of God's original creation plan. The Bible tells us that it was only after man rebelled against his Creator, went against his prescribed order, that, quote, death entered into the world through sin and death spread to all men. And according to the Bible, this is exactly what God said would happen. And when the horror of sin entered into God's world, God responded. And God's appointed response to the horror of sin was the horror of death. But the Bible also tells us that God, in His great love and mercy, has done something about the horror of sin and the horror of death by sending His Son, Jesus Christ, into the world to die, and that we might be reconciled to God through faith in Jesus Christ. And because He did, the enemy of death will one day be no more. Now, someone may ask, if Jesus died and rose from the dead, why do people continue to die? I heard it put this way. Perhaps the best way to understand it is that God seems to be removing the consequences of death in stages. At the first coming of Christ, He paid the immeasurable penalty of sin by bearing our sins on the cross. Then at the second coming of Jesus, all of the miserable effects of sin will be completely and finally removed, and death shall be no more. I love this passage in the book of Revelation. It says He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain. Old order of things has passed away. I think you know that in this world there's a lot of things that we can find to disagree over. But I do think there's one thing that we can all agree on, and that is we all want a world like this. No more sorrow, no more pain, and no more death. And we're told in the Scriptures that is precisely God's future for His people. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Consider liking this video if you would. It'll help spread the opportunity for others to see the video. And also consider subscribing. I'm Van the Funeral Man, living with hope in life and in death.